Hey everybody, Tim Knight, and after a momentous day like this, I wanted to whip a video together and just share a few thoughts on this rather momentous day, like 1,300 point drop on the Dow or something like that. And really didn't expect that. As some of you know, or most of you know, because I keep mentioning it, I have COVID again. As you can tell from my voice and the fact I'm making a video, it's really not that bad. It's like, on a scale of 1 to 10 for like a cold, it's like a 2. So, really not a big deal, but definitely have it. So why did I even mention that? I don't know. This is not my chart platform. This is a good old Thinkorswim. Tom's other, how many guys have formed 2 brokerages? That's astonishing to me. Tom Sosnoff and Scott Sheridan have done this twice. That's incredible to me. It's like making 2 auto manufacturers, so good for them. But this is the older one. This is Thinkorswim. And I'm using this instead of my own charts because I don't have a futures feed myself and their intraday charts are better. So I'm going to use them instead. And I've deliberately dialed this back to the June bottom. And there's no script here. I'm just going to kind of talk about the year so far and kind of this morning in particular. So here we have the lifetime peak in the market. And, that was miserable. It was horrible. It was years and years and years of this nonsense. But little did we know that on January 3, that would be it. And then we started the first round of this diminishment, which was very exciting and novel and cool. And we hit this retracement level and found support. Cool. Bounced. And that sucked, but these things do happen. And we sort of stalled out here and then began a new round, got below the retracement, then below the retracement, then below the retracement. Clearly plenty of support going on. And then we began this big old counter trend move in March, which I'm sure I bitched and whined about the entire time. So we went up, 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 and I was scared to pieces here because we actually went above these levels. It seemed to me that, we've had another 2-week bear market here. That's all we get. But it began to drop again. And in retrospect, we can see this was here from early March, I guess, all the way down to mid-May. This was the longest, most consistent stretch of bearishness in this whole year. We just didn't know how good we had it, did we? But yeah, from March 29 until May 20, so about 2 months. We had pretty much a 2-month bear market. Yay. Then we got another counter trend bounce here. And really cool stuff again. Here's the next Fibonacci level, which we approached. And that was repelled. And went zoop up here. And what had been support is now resistance. And I remember very well these days because we were just banging around going nowhere. And I, of course, bitched him on about that because I do that a lot. And then we got this wonderful sell-off here. And incidentally, this was the day back on the 10th, right here, that the first real CPI shocker of the year came out. Very much like today in terms of like, oh my God. And little did we know, but in a few days later, that would be it for the drop. And for the year as a whole, this remains our low for the entire year, down at around 36.50. And then we began hell. And so for 2 solid months, we began this counter trend descent, a wave 2 Elliott wave. And, I was begging the whole time for it to stop. And it looked like we were starting to break down again. Nothing doing. Started to get short up again. And then up and up and up. And so the bulls were just running with it. And our only hope at this point was Bear Force 1. And the Fibonacci, and those came together. So on the 16th, we peaked, and I boarded Bear Force 1. And so let's review here. This was generally support back here, then became resistance here. And this isn't to the penny, these are rough areas, but they're pretty damn good. So generally support, generally resistance, generally support down here. And again, generally resistance in this vicinity. So we got way up here, 2-month rally, and then Bear Force 1 strikes, and we start heading lower, whee, like so. And then last week, we get deliciously close to this trend line, around 39.25 or so. And then we found support. And then again, we start this 4-day rally or so. Actually, we got below it right there. So we broke here on the 6th of September. We broke it, and it's like, screw you, bears, and went flying higher again and recaptured a lot of those losses. Now, let's go to a finer granularity here. This sucked donkey. We went from about 3,900 to around 4,160 in just a few days. And as you can see, there was hardly a downtick in sight. I mean, instances like this and this gave us bears a little fleeting wisp of hope, which was quickly made into a 20-foot trout and slapped across our face. But it basically just went straight up. Now, that, as I say, it sucked and blew. You know, it sounds physically impossible, but it did both. And over the weekend, as I've written about, there was endless chatter about the bear market's over. Everything is roses now. Inflation has peaked, inflation has peaked, inflation has peaked, inflation has peaked. And Goldman Sachs, at Zero Hedge, for reasons I cannot fathom, was touting endlessly. Goldman Sachs, which I don't think has told the truth in its life, saying to buy stocks. And they showed all the charts as to why you should. And even to someone like me, it's like, crap. Because it was a pretty compelling argument. And so I got my COVID a second time and went to bed by myself, of course. And I really just had a lot of self-talk about, well, you know, if the market goes flying tomorrow, what are you going to do? Well, cut back risk even more, trim back positions even more. You know, woe is me. This, you know, maybe I should sell aluminum siding. And so I had fitful sleep. And then now, mind you, I'm in the Pacific Coast. At 5:30 a.m. is when the report is released. At 5:38 a.m., I opened my eyes and I said, even though I'm by myself, I said out loud, well, here we go. Grabbed the phone, flicked it on, and I saw this gorgeous red candle. And said something very positive, which I forget, and got the hell out of bed and got the day going. Because in no time, it did this. And I always find this funny, even when the worst report comes out, there's always like about a second where they bid the market higher. I mean, I guess there's some like short bus algos that trade it higher no matter what. Whatever. Okay, fine. But the funny thing is that this magnificent plunge was really just the beginning. It was just a little, and I'm sure all through especially here, look at this dish going on. It's like, okay, we're getting ready for the, God knows how many people were buying here. They're probably like buying ES futures left, right, and sideways because it looks like a nice little basing pattern. It's like, blow me, and down it goes. So in the end, we got below this level, which had been that plunge on, that was basically the lowest we got during this rally. So this line has kind of outlived its usefulness. So we'll say sayonara to that. And as far as this line goes, it goes back a lot farther. It's not particularly important, but at this point, you know, we have other reports coming. We've got the, I think, PPI tomorrow. I gather that's not as important. I don't, you know, people don't seem to be wringing their hands or really talking about it, but that is forthcoming. We've got a lot of retail reports coming on Thursday. And of course, Friday is quadruple witching hour and all that stuff. So I feel that I've got a new lease on life here. I feel completely refreshed in terms of all my sour feelings about the market. My premium members know kind of what my targets are, but I've made no secret of my ES targets. I still think something like 3,400 does make sense for this year. That would be, and it's on this one, I don't think the value is quite the same. On this one, for some reason, it's about 3,500. Not quite sure why. I'm not crazy about these charts. They seem to have some flaws in them. But if this is accurate, yeah, 3,500, whatever the next level down is. But on my charts, I think 3,400 was the level. So I'm going to end it here. I don't like videos more than 10 minutes, so I'll just say great day, feeling recharged, and let's do this again.